I'm spoiling Endgame, leave.
Greetings and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yeah, YouTube told me my intro music was copyrighted, so this is what you get now.
So Endgame, aka the movie that ripped my heart out. And just keeps ripping it out. Stomping on it. I gotta say, okay, I'm not a super emotional person. I don't normally cry when I'm watching movies and stuff. But I had tears in my eyes for most of Endgame, which was a problem because I was watching it in 3D because it was the only one that wasn't sold out. And you know how it's dark. I don't like watching movies in 3D, honestly. So I could barely see, but I could see enough. Too much. Also, I painted my nails the colors of the Infinity Stones. Except I don't have orange, but I only have 5 fingers, so 5 fingers on each hand. I have 10 fingers. You get it. So I thought I would just talk about some of the things that ripped my heart out. So I think I should just go ahead and say that this video is gonna have spoilers in it. I don't know what you were expecting when you clicked on this video, but I'm gonna warn you from now. There will be spoilers. So this is kind of like, it's a video for those of us who've seen it already, so that we can, you know, grieve together. Because, you know, it's like group therapy, except it's just me talking to a camera, which is kind of like therapy if my therapist was an iPhone. I'm eating Lucky Charms in case you were wondering what cereal it is that I'm drowning my sorrows in. So let's talk about some of the good things first. Let's talk about this one. It was a really good movie though, don't get me wrong. Like, it crushed my heart, but in a good way, for the most part. For not all of it. I really loved Korg's return. Korg is just an icon, a legend. Also, it was so cool how they like did it. I wonder if, did they film it beforehand and then they just have, how did they do that? Because the flashbacks were so insane. Not the flashbacks, but like the time travel and the way they were like, it was so cool. But also, can we just talk about the amazing battle when they like brought in everybody who had been dusted? Oh my gosh, the entrance was incredible. Incredible. And then when Cap picked up the hammer, Mjolnir, I can never say it. Mjolnir,
Mjolnir.
Mew Mew. When Cap picked up Mew Mew, the whole theater cheered, including me. They were like yelling, we're like, yes, yes, like I knew it. It was so cool, especially because like before in the other movie, like how he kind of picked it up, but like not really. Oh, it was so cool. And then Thor was like, I knew it. We were like, yes, we all knew it. Everybody was screaming. It was amazing. Oh, that whole thing. And the first people to show up were like the people from Black Panther. When they showed up, dude, I was like looking at them and I was squinting because like I said, I couldn't see. But my friend next to me, she picked it up first. She figured out who it was before I did. Like she picked like so quickly. Like the second the portal thing opened, she was like, oh, and she started like, it was awesome. That was so cool. And then everybody just like, shoo, come to defeat you, Thanos. Like, oh, it was amazing. But I'm so sad. First of all, I'm not even kidding when I say that this movie has literally upset me so much, because the second I left the theater, like maybe the minute, maybe not quite exactly the second, but the minute I left the theater, my heart started hurting, like physically. I don't know if it was my heart, or if it was like my chest or what, but I had like a pain, a legitimate pain, and it didn't go away for like 3 days. But I just want to say, right, the second I realized that Natasha and Clint were going to Vormir, I started shaking, like physically shaking. I was like, oh no, because because I freaked out because I knew what was coming. I knew that they were gonna end up fighting for like, because one of them had to die. And I was like, oh no, oh no, 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 no. And I cried during that part. It was such an intense scene. It was really well done, but like I hated it because man, I loved her so much. And like the amazing like amount of character development that she had gone through from like the beginning to love is for children to like calling them her family, like. And I mean, it was so hard because like I didn't even know what I was rooting for. Like I didn't know like which one of them I'd rather die, because I was like, I don't want either of them to die. They're like but I mean, Clint did have like you know, an actual family, like a wife and children, so I guess it's fine, kind of. But he also lost his best friend because she sacrificed herself for, and then she was like, I'll never let go, Clint. Like it was I cried. So I think that was the first time I like actually cried. I was tearing up for most of it, but like that part really got me. But then they did me worse. They did worse, you know. The ending, and okay, I have something to say. It might be a little controversial, I don't know, but like, it's my opinion. It's my opinion.
That's my opinion!
So like, okay, the ending was very, very sad, obviously, like towards the end, but like, obviously Tony Stark dying was very, very sad. I cried. I did. But like, in a way, as horrible as it was, and like as much as I wish he wasn't dead, at the same time it kind of feels like it makes sense in a way, because like if you remember at the beginning of like the stuff, oh like you wouldn't, I think it was Cap that said it to him, like you're not the one to make the sacrifice or something like that, even though he did, like he's been making sacrifices unnecessarily for how many movies now, like Avengers, the first one. I don't understand why he didn't just let go of the missile when he was like shooting it through the, like it has a propulsion on the end of it, like why didn't you just let it go, like aim it, line it up, and then let it go right before it went through? Like why did he go through the portal? I still am so confused by that. But he survived that, you know, he survived it. But at the same time, I guess if somebody had to die, I think Tony would be glad, not glad, but like Tony would rather be him, because he's the person that blames himself for like everybody's death. And you know, he had Peter like die in his arms in Infinity War, and it was like such a parallel for that. Like there were so many things about this movie that were so cool. I loved the part where it was like such a cool parallel to, okay, when the Hulk had the gauntlet on and he was snapping, and they were like really worried about him. They're like, oh no, like just take it off, but Steve was the one that said, no wait, like see what he says, like see if he's okay. That was so cool because it reminded me of Captain America the first Avengers, when they were about to shut it down and be like, no, wait, like he's not okay, but then he was in there and he was like, no, I can do it, like I'm okay, let me do it. So I thought that was really cool. That was like such a cool parallel to that. There were so many things that I loved, but so many things I hated as well. So it was kind of a good ending in a way, because Pepper said to him, it's okay, you can rest now. And that was such a like heart-wrenching moment of like, he's done it, he's like saved the world, you know, he can relax now, he can have peace, rest, right? When I thought, you know, I wanted him to give him peace, I didn't mean rest in peace, but I guess that works too. The part that I don't like about it, like this, okay, let me explain. Let me explain. Tony's death was very, very sad, and so was Black Widow's, Natasha's. Very sad deaths. Very, very sad. But in a way, they felt okay. Like, I could understand why they did that. Like, it's Endgame, you know, like not everyone is gonna survive. It makes sense. Like somebody has to die. You know, it's unfortunate, but it's how it works. So it's like, as sad as their deaths were, I was in a way like not okay with them, but like I understand why they did it. However, the thing that I'm not okay with is at the end when Cap was taking back the Infinity Stones. That makes me so mad that he stayed in the other timeline, because there are a few reasons for this. Let me explain them. You know what? Let me put down my cereal for this. Let me explain why this makes me so mad. This is genuinely upsetting to me because it's a different kind of upset. Like, as sad as I was when Tony and Natasha died, this makes me upset, but in a different way. Because it just feels wrong. It doesn't feel... Let me explain. So, he goes back, right? Leaves everybody else. He leaves Bucky, Sam, all the other Avengers, like, grieving. He leaves everybody to go back to a timeline that is now going to be an alternate timeline after they tried so hard to protect the timeline because they didn't want to create an alternate timeline, which makes no sense in itself. But then also, I don't see it being in his character to leave mostly Bucky behind, because if you think about it, there are 2 whole movies essentially about him like fighting to save Bucky, and like, you know, he wants to be with his best friend, and then he just leaves him after fighting for him, fighting entire countries and nations, the whole like governments and the rest of the Avengers. He's gonna leave him like that. I don't see it. I don't see it. Especially because in a way it feels kind of selfish of him, which doesn't quite make sense because the way it is, okay, he knew that Peggy had a good life, and I loved them together in the first Avenger. That was great, but I loved what happened after, you know? And it feels like they kind of just threw all of that away with him going back because, you know, Peggy wanted him to live his life and move on. I don't think she meant for him to go back and live some sort of fabricated life that isn't how things would have actually worked out, if that makes sense. Because he knew that she lived a good life. She did. She lived an amazing life. And I watched Agent Carter, the series, which was really, really good, and honestly I want more of it, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she's probably ended up marrying Agent Sousa, Daniel, that dude, because they had, and I loved them together in the show, like I liked it a lot. So, and Steve knew that Peggy had a good life without him. Like, of course she missed him, but she still had a good life and a good and full, fulfilling life. She was like the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all kinds of stuff. Like, she lived an incredible life. And so many things happened the way that they did because Steve was dead for so long. And none of that, a lot of these things wouldn't have happened if Steve was there, you know? And of course it's not changing the past, it's just creating an alternate timeline But I thought that's what they were trying to avoid. And I'm pretty sure Steve was aware of that. So I don't quite understand the logic there. And okay, I can understand him going back and then just like having a last dance with, like having his dance with Peggy. I get that. Like I could understand that. But the fact that he stayed and got old in that timeline doesn't, I don't like that. Because then he returned and he's old. He's lived out his life, his whole long life, because this man is old without his best friend. Like, in who knows what kind of world it's created now that it's different. Like, we don't know. We don't know. And he left his best friend alone, essentially, because yeah, he has Sam, but they weren't really friends before. Like, we didn't see them bond or whatever. I mean, hopefully we get to, because Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan is just a quality pairing, you know? But it doesn't feel right. It doesn't make sense. I don't like it. I don't like it. Gotta be honest. It doesn't make sense. It feels out of character for him, because the only time we've ever really seen Steve be selfish is when it comes to Bucky. And like, that's selfish. Like, he's fought entire governments and agencies and like everything for this dude, and he's just gonna leave him like stranded. Like, because the saddest part is because you know he's gonna die now. Like because it's just another death, and it makes no sense because he's old, he's gonna die, and he's gonna leave behind all of his friends, including Bucky and Sam. He's gonna die, and he's gonna leave him. So it's basically another death, which is why it's so upsetting. But it's upsetting because it's an out of character death, in my opinion. And of course, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. And this is mine. But yeah, I mean, also it's so sad. Like, Morgan Stark is now gonna grow up without her father. And hopefully we get to see her like eventually become, like, I don't know, the new Iron Man or whatever, because we saw her with the mask and stuff, which was so cool. Also I miss Loki, where yeah, like, I guess he's actually dead, but is it true that we're gonna get a Loki like TV series where we see him like popping up in history? That'd be really cool. That's, yeah, you know what? I guess that's all I have to say. I've said it. Cool. Honestly, I'm not done crying about it. Probably will cry again. I wasn't gonna cry on camera, I told you that. No, I didn't tell you that, but I told myself that. But I kid you not, every time I think about this movie, I get so sad. I can't wait for the Black Widow movie. I hope it's really good. It's a shame that we know that she dies, because that sucks, but I really want to see what happened in Budapest. And yeah, I'll be okay. I'll be fine. Maybe. Hopefully, eventually. I don't even know. Probably not, honestly. But yeah, please like this video, subscribe, turn on my notifications. You know, I make other videos, check them out. I have another video coming soon that's gonna be really cool. One of my favorites. Comment down below what you think of the movie, what you thought. If you agree or disagree with me, that's okay, but I'm interested to know what you think. Yeah, just comment so we can have like a group therapy session down there, you know, help each other out. Bye. I'm gonna cut this out, it doesn't matter.
Leave this part in here real quick, okay? Like the video.
Alright, I'll leave that in. Get out.
No,
You haven't seen it yet, I'm gonna spoil it for you. Get. Shoot. Shoot.
Club Penguin is the best website ever made.
That's very true.
That's all I wanted to say.
Very true.